Ever catch yourself, scrolling through the news and suddenly, bam, there's a story about someone drowning in medical debt?
Oh, absolutely.
It's enough to make anyone nervous. Right. Like, what if that was me?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today.
Okay.
There's this new study in Benefits Pro, and honestly, it kind of threw me for a loop.
Oh, really?
It said nearly half of U.S. workers, #LF, are financially unprepared for unexpected medical costs.
Wow.
That's a coin toss on whether a sudden illness or accident sends you into a financial tailspin.
That's a scary thought.
It really is.
Yeah.
So think of this deep dive as your financial first aid kit.
I like it.
We're going beyond those scary headlines, really unpacking why this matters to you, the ripple effects that go way beyond just your bank account, and hopefully we'll find some potential lifelines along the way.
And it is a lifeline in many cases, right? Because it's not just numbers on a page. We're talking about real people facing impossible choices.
Exactly.
The study found almost 20% are literally choosing between paying for healthcare or putting food on the table, rent, those essential needs.
It's heartbreaking, honestly, and another 14% are struggling just to afford their prescriptions.
It's true.
I can't imagine the stress of that, lying awake at night, wondering if you should skip medication just to keep a roof overhead.
And that's the tragedy of it all, isn't it? Because putting off care just creates this domino effect.
Yeah.
Those health problems, they often escalate, leading to even bigger costs later, forcing even tougher choices. It's this awful cycle that's so hard to escape.
And the scary part is, even those of us who think we're safe, that we have good health insurance, can still get caught off guard.
Oh, I know it.
Out-of-network fees, those surprise bills during an emergency, deductibles you never saw coming. The study really highlights how these hidden costs can blindside you.
Like a financial sucker punch right when you're already down. And what we often forget is that this doesn't just impact the individual. It has this ripple effect, impacting employers too, in a big way.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Most people probably don't immediately connect personal medical debt with, their workplace. But the study points out how this impacts employers too.
Exactly. Think about it. If your employees are constantly stressed about medical bills, it's going to affect their work.
Makes sense.
Lower productivity, more missed days. And here's a scary thought. It could even make it harder for companies to attract and keep good employees.
Right.
Who wants to work for a company where they constantly feel financially vulnerable?
It's like this hidden cost that quietly impacts businesses from the inside out. So we've painted a pretty stark picture here. Individuals struggling, employers feeling the pressure, and the traditional approach to health insurance just isn't cutting it. But the Benefits Pro article, it doesn't just leave us hanging, does it? They actually dive into a potential solution called Holistic Employee Benefits, or HEB.
Right, and it's important to point out here that we're not endorsing any specific company or program, but we are all about exploring different approaches, giving you the information so you can make the best decision for your own situation.
I appreciate that. Yeah, always good to have that reminder. So let's unpack this whole HE thing. What are we even talking about here?
So imagine like a toolbox, but instead of hammers and wrenches, you've got all these different financial tools, things designed to address those gaps we talked about that traditional health insurance often misses.
Okay, I like that. A toolbox. That feels a lot less intimidating than trying to decipher insurance jargon, that's for sure.
Exactly. And just like you wouldn't use a screwdriver to hammer in a nail, HEB offers all these different tools for different needs. For example, they have something called hospital indemnity insurance.
Hospital indemnity.
Yeah.
See, there's that jargon. Break that down for me. What's the benefit there?
So picture this. You're in the hospital. Maybe it was planned. Maybe it was unexpected. Either way, those bills start piling up. Hospital indemnity insurance is like a financial buffer. It gives you a fixed cash payout directly to you, the employee, regardless of what your regular health insurance covers.
Oh, interesting. So it's not like directly paying the hospital or anything. It's putting cash in your pocket to use how you need it.
Exactly. Whether it's covering those medical bills or making sure your rent gets paid while you're recovering, it helps prevent those costs from totally derailing your finances.
Which, as we talked about, that's a huge stressor for people. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm also seeing something here called ICHRA, and I'll be honest, I have no idea what that is.
Yes, ICHRA. It stands for Individual Coverage Health Reimbursement Arrangement.
Catchy.
Right. It sounds a little complicated, but it's actually pretty cool once you wrap your head around it.
All right, walk me through it.
Essentially, with an ICHRA, your employer puts aside a specific amount of money each year. This helps cover your healthcare costs.
Okay.
But, and this is key, instead of being stuck with whatever health insurance plan your company offers,
Right.
you get to choose your own plan from the individual market.
Hold on, I get to pick my own plan. That's almost unheard of, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
Usually it's like, here are your options, take it or leave it.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of ICHRA. It gives you back the power, letting you pick a plan that actually fits your needs, your budget.
I see.
Maybe you want a high deductible plan with a lower monthly payment or something more comprehensive. It's your call.
Oh, wow. So it's like having a personalized healthcare budget from my employer, but I get to choose how I actually spend it. That's pretty brilliant.
It is, and it gets even better. The money your employer puts toward your ICHRA, it's usually tax deductible for them.
Oh, so a win for the company too.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm definitely seeing the appeal for both employees who, crave a little more control and employers looking for some flexibility. So those are just two examples. What other tools are we talking about in this HEB toolbox?
Well, they also highlight things like accident expense insurance. So say you have an unexpected injury. You trip and fall, whatever it is.
Happens to the best of us.
Exactly. This type of insurance helps cover those out-of-pocket costs that come with an accident, things your regular health insurance might not fully cover.
Smart. Because those kinds of unexpected things, those what-ifs, even if they don't happen often, can really mess with your budget if you're not prepared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's guaranteed issue life insurance. This can act as a safety net for your family if, something were to happen to you.
Right.
It can help cover funeral expenses, outstanding debts, really anything your loved ones might need help with during a difficult time.
Wow. So we really are talking about this holistic approach, huh? Addressing a lot of those scary what-if situations. I feel like we don't think about these things nearly enough until it's too late.
That's the goal. To empower people to be proactive instead of reactive when it comes to their health and financial well-being. HEB also talks about tax-deductible health benefits like flexible spending accounts or FSAs or health savings accounts, HSAs. These can help you save money on eligible healthcare expenses all year round.
It's like they thought of everything.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking, with all these options, it's got to be more important than ever to do your research, right?
It is. It's like having this huge menu of options, which is great. But yeah, you don't want to just order the first thing you see, right?
Exactly. Think of it like choosing a new phone plan. You wouldn't just sign up for the first one you see, right? You compare coverage, read the fine print. You might even talk to customer service to make sure you really understand all the details.
Absolutely. And when it comes to something as important as your health and your finances, that careful consideration, it's even more important.
Couldn't agree more. And that's where resources like financial advisors, benefits specialists, those can be incredibly helpful.
Yeah. They can walk you through each option, the specifics, help you compare plans, and ultimately make sure you're making an informed decision, one that really aligns with your own unique situation.
Yeah, it's like having a personal shopper, but for your benefits. Which honestly sounds kind of amazing given how confusing this stuff can be.
That's the point, right? The goal is to give you the knowledge, and with that, the peace of mind.
Well said. So if we bring it back to where we started, it seems like the big, huge GE takeaway here is that the financial risk of these medical emergencies, we just can't ignore it. Even with health insurance, right? Unexpected costs pop up, they always seem to, and it can really throw our lives into chaos.
It's true. And this Benefits Pro study, while it focuses on U.S. workers, it does bring up an interesting point. Are other countries dealing with similar issues? What's their approach? What are their healthcare systems, their financial safety nets look like? Makes you wonder if there are solutions out there that we haven't even thought of.
Ooh, that's interesting. Maybe a future deep dive. But for now, we've covered a lot. We talked about the financial strain of these medical emergencies, how they impact not just individuals but employers, and we even got to look at some potential solutions like HEB.
Right, and hopefully listeners will walk away from this understanding that they are not alone in this. It's a complicated issue, no easy answers, but by getting informed, asking questions, and exploring their options, they can feel more in control of their health and their financial well-being.
Absolutely. So to everyone listening, if something resonated with you today, don't let the conversation end here. Talk to your employer about different benefit options, do a little research, maybe reach out to a financial advisor. Knowledge is power, and being proactive now, that can make all the difference later.